Dr. Soni.
Hello.
It is a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you.
You are a minister and a father and a husband. You have 4 children, and you balance all of that as you work also for the Lord in your ministry. You are the founder of the Soni Restoration Ministries International. And it is really a pleasure to have you. And also, we are celebrating your 24th anniversary. How do you feel?
Great. It's just like every time it's a renewal.
That's really good. Well, let's start from the beginning. Exactly how did you meet your wife, Astrid Soni? How did you guys meet, and how was it?
It has been a really great adventure, as I can put it this way. We were at high school, and then it happened that we came to know the Lord in that same time. And while we were trying to edify each other among brothers and sisters, that's how we came to know. Definitely when I started just to be one of the leaders in the group and a preacher, so that made me to become a little bit easy to get in touch with people, and I had to talk with her for several times about spiritual things, about the Lord, and then I felt like there was something different because I was doing that with many brothers and sisters, and with her, I felt like there was something different. But, you know, in those days, I was not really thinking of marriage. That's the point. I was not thinking of marriage. I felt like, okay, I knew the Lord and Jesus was coming back soon, and we were not interested in things like that. And at the same time, we felt like any kind of relationship that you want to develop with ladies were just, you have to put a lot of boundaries. But it seemed to me that the longer that we were sharing about the things of the kingdom of God, at the same time I felt something different about her, about the possibility of being friend, and of course thinking even more than that about marriage. So that's how I can explain how it started.
So, can you tell us a little bit of your attraction to her? Tell us what attracted you to her. Yes, you were involved in the same group and you saw the spiritual life and all that, but also tell us a little bit more on what attracted you to her.
Yes. The first thing is that, as you said, the fact that we wanted to know the Lord and wanted to know each other and comfort and edify. But at the same time, as I said, we were still boys and girls. So she was different from myself, and something different felt in me. That the way she looked, the way her appearance to me was something really, really different. That if I have to compare her with many other sisters, she was very sober. She liked the way she appeared, and that really was something that helped me to understand that this is the kind of person I can be a friend with, and at the same time the desire of being, how can I put it, to obey God and to serve the Lord. That really attracted me to her because I saw that in her. And of course she was very beautiful. And we were the kind of people having the same physical appearance. She was physically very well fitted. So that's part of what attracted me in her.
And of course, your attraction moved to the desire of wanting to get married. And how would you explain was the reactions of your parents and her parents to you guys coming together and telling them we want to get married and we want to continue our lives together?
I think the first thing is that we wanted to make sure that we are really sure with each other about the thing. And I can say I took a long time of prayer, because with my parents we were sharing anything. But I have never shared with them anything concerning my kind of relationship with any girls, because I didn't have that kind of life. And I knew that my parents also were not expecting us to be those kind of children who just misbehave, has all kind of immoral life. So talking to them about my desire to marry her, for my parents, they took it very serious, because they felt like I never saw something like that. And they saw me with many sisters and brothers. Actually, most of them were even coming to our house, to our family. So we were really mingled with boys and girls together, and coming to say to them, among those you have seen visiting our house, going with them, singing in the choir, preaching in different places, that one, we're thinking to get married. So I think they didn't have to try to change or try to discover if that was true, because it was very clear. And I thank God, because in many other things we had to discuss and try to convince our parents. But in that matter of my relationship and my desire to marry Astrid, there have never been anything about my parents that made them to think it was different. And of course, they knew her parents too, and they knew how, because both our parents were ministers in the same denomination, so they knew each other very well. So that was part of the thing that made it a little bit easier also.
So before you got married, you already were living out the calling God had in your life.
Yeah.
And you got married and continued on with that, and now you have a ministry that's international. And you have preached in many places in the world. And my question would be, if you could preach now to any country or any people in the world, where would it be exactly?
Oh, that's a good question. It's just like part of my life today. When I look at the calling, I always make it feel like my Christian life is just the same as my calling to serve the Lord. I don't know about others. Some feel like, okay, I'm just a Christian, and then one day I have to serve God. But I started serving, preaching. I've been preaching all my life. Even when I was a student working in the secular world, but our world, I was still a preacher. And so preaching is part of me. Anywhere I find myself, I preach. Even if there are no human beings in a place, sometimes I preach. And but it seemed to me after I've gone in a kind of itinerant ministry, that's the way I actually started and establishing our prayer groups in different places. Traveling has been part of my life, part of my ministry. And then when I started the pastoral ministry, first as a chaplain at the university, and then started a church and started a ministry, as you know, the Soni Restoration Ministries with different churches and Bible school. I've been holding very big, large meetings with leaders, and also open air meetings, crusade with thousands of people. I like that. But it seemed to me after these years like I'm coming back to those first years where I was having traveling ministries and also moving with group of people. So I don't know if maybe it's a kind of middle-age crisis, but I feel like going back to work with very nomadic people, those who move from place to place. Sometimes I try to talk to Astrid, maybe try to convince her, because it seemed to me that I have to work on that. Trying to find an RV, a mobile church, a car that I will be moving from place to place and preach. And in that area, in Europe, the gypsies are those of people I'm thinking to be preaching to. And also having meetings in big, large cities that can come with a kind of festival of music. We sing and then preach to the people, impromptus, things like that. Those are the things. Of course, I like to preach to big, organized crowd of people, but at the same time, I'm just feeling like going back to those kind of movement, moving with people and reaching them where they are and preach with them.
And it's really good to hear that. And also, from talking to your wife, we have kind of learned that you have counseled couples before. As yourself, you are mature in the word, and at the same time, as you grow in knowing your own wife and you grow in your marriage, you have been able to counsel other couples. What are those things that you see reoccurring in couples despite social or cultural differences? What are those things that are still affecting marriages today that you have seen?
I think the first thing I have been privileged to marry Astrid and have a very harmonious relationship in our wedding, our marriage, and that is something I would expect everybody to have, to live that way. And we have counseled many couples, helped them, those who were bachelor, trying to get to know with whom they can marry, and we try to help them discover the person they would like to get married. And then also we counsel those who have been ready to get into their marriage, and also the people who were already married with some troubles in different cultures, as you said, in Africa, in Europe, in the US. And what I have discovered, and this is me, is first the fact that the people have to know that they are really called each other to live together. And to the point that the person will know, I cannot live with that other person. And if that is not the thing that makes the marriage, it's easy for each one to go his own way. And also, that also can be really good if they put God in the center of their marriage. Every time the marriage or the couple, they have put God aside in their life, brings a lot of troubles. But there is another thing that I've come to understand. You will never be the real same people. We have some differences and things that are different from each other, but there are common ground of people. This is the way I put it. If people are very serious, very committed to God, they will have a good marriage if both of them are very committed. If one is very committed, another one is not committed, it's very hard to help them to have a successful marriage. if people are not very committed, unfortunately, there are people, Christians, who are not very, very committed, but they are still Christian. They can also, if they are married, try to solve their problem in that way. It will be a little bit easier for them because they are like the same, at least spiritually. So it helped them. It has been easy for those kind of people to talk to them, and they understand what they are going through. And the last thing I have seen, it's unfortunate that people don't know God, but because they have the same value, the same way of looking at marriage, they can stay for the rest of their life in a very good harmony, even if they don't have God as the center. I wish and I hope, I want everybody to have God as the center of their marriage. But I've seen that if people at least have the same views, the same ideas about marriage, they can last long. And the last thing that I have discovered, marriage that lasts long, is those where the husband and the wife are real good friends. They stay friends, they came in as friends, and they stay friends for years. So that's maybe one of our secret between me and Astrid. We are good friends.
And when it comes to counseling, how many couples have you counseled, if you remember the number?
We have helped very many of them, first because as leading churches, different huge churches, many has come to us in a group. We have meetings with couples. We have time where we spend with the couples and teach them. We prepare the matrimonial ceremony for many. But also we have had those who had been really very close to us in a very personal way. They asked us to be their godfather and godmother. So we have also helped maybe hundreds of them. Now we're getting a little bit tired, but it's really rewarding. Most of the marriages we have really counseled in the help in their life has been they have been very grateful, and they have also become part of our family. We're very proud of them, and many of them are ministers today. Some are not ministers, but what they are doing is something that shows that we have not invested in vain our time and ideas and insight in their lives. It's just a very rewarding thing to help young couples.
And speaking of young couples, what advice would you give to couples who are coming together and entering the ministry? And it was the case for you and your wife, even though you started doing your ministry before getting married. You got married and still entered this new life in the ministry together. What would be your advice to a couple that senses a calling to the ministry?
Yeah, the best thing is to make sure that both of them understand the calling of God, and both the husband and the wife understand the value of being as a partner, not only as a husband and wife, but a partner in the ministry also. So that's really the good thing I can tell them. Make sure you understand the calling of God and you answer the calling of God. You may not be doing the same thing exactly. My wife is a better pastor. I'm not that kind of pastor. And I'm good in leading other people, leading ministers. I'm good in crusade like an evangelist. I'm good in things like that. See, we have those kind of differences, but at least we do this work of the ministry together. We pray together, we believe things together, and we preach. We sometimes prepare the message together. So in a way, they may not be doing exactly the same thing, both of them, but they have to know the call of God and put at the best place in their marriage, because they have a lot of sacrifices, they have a lot of things that they've been maybe asked to do differently, but at least they know we're doing this for the kingdom of God, for God's kingdom. When we started our life together, Astrid and myself, we were singing together. I discovered that I'm not a very good singer. Praise God, my children does. So it's part of me doing that through them. So I just tell her, do it with your best and all the ability you can. And I support that work because I love music, I love singing, I love dancing, and I don't sing that well. And she still believes that I can, but okay, anyway. So, as I said, they have to know each one what part of the ministry he is called to do, but at the same time try to do it all together. And I always advise pastors also, or ministers, to make sure that the ministry will not break their relationship to the point of putting them asunder, putting them apart, because this one is too much involved in doing too much, and the other one sees like the marriage become something that separates them. Make sure, I put it this way, make sure if you are tired of the ministry, for ministering, get tired together. If you are joyful, you are excited by ministry, get excited together. Anything the other one is doing for the ministry, get involved and know what they are doing. So that's what I can tell. And it's so wonderful to have harmony in the ministry. I remember when we went to the Bible school, we were a young couple who were involved in evangelism because I like that. And the school we went to, the motto of the school was evangelism, our supreme task. So they have a very good evangelism team. I wanted my wife to get involved in that, and we went with her everywhere. Actually, when we were planning to get married, I told her, I will only get married with a lady who is ready to put shoes that will allow her to jump with me and go wherever I want to go to win souls. So she has been with me that time. You know what name they were calling us at the Bible school? The Unbeatable Team. The Unbeatable Team was the name they gave us at the Bible school because they knew everywhere someone sees me, they will see my wife also. We went with her everywhere. We won souls. We cast devil together. We pray for the sick together. We have been stoned together. We have been cast out together. So it's good to get that kind of how can I put it? To make sure that your husband or your wife is your real confidant in the ministry. You just intertwine in the way you see ministry. And also, as like us, we understand that ministry is our life. There is nothing else. We eat and do everything for the ministry and through the ministry. Yeah.
So, if we can kind of generalize everything in a way, what would be your advice to any couple? Anybody who is planning on entering a marriage or who is in a marriage, what would be your advice on how they can have a successful marriage? To have a marriage that lasts 20 or more years, as you have experienced yourself, a marriage that has lasted and has been successful.
Get married as friends and stay friends. It's that easy. If they are friends, they will stay forever in the marriage because they have ups and downs, they have things, they will lack this and that, they have more, but the real friendship is very dear, is very, very rewarding, but also it makes people stay together. So I have that word. Let them be friends. That's one of the things. Every time I talk with married people who have problems, I ask them the question, when is the last time you felt that this person is no more my friend, or our friendship is being affected negatively? And when we start from there, we can find solution to most of the problem. Let them get married as friends and stay friends in the marriage. I'm talking friends. I'm not just talking about, because not Facebook friends. I'm talking friends or people who share everything they can. Part of their life, spiritually, physically, emotionally, feelings, the means, the money, everything they share as friends. And of course, let me put it this way, that they develop the sense of joke, and that's part of me in our friendship with my wife, because I like that. I like that kind of being ready to make fun in life. And I think that's a thing I can tell most of people who want to get married and last in their marriage.
And you do mention that in your friendship with your wife, you have times to joke and enjoy each other as friends. What are some of those moments that have marked your life when it comes to your marriage?
That's a long life, and there are a lot of things to come across. What I can tell you is that our marriage as itself is just a moment. And that moment has been wonderful. I'm not saying that we have never had to think that still like she thinks a little bit different than what I do, but we keep our friendship and we do our best to keep the smiling face and the joke that we need to share with each other. And of course, time of trials has been something that have marked my life personally. To start with, when we were planning to get married, I discovered that I was not getting a lot of money. So I told her that she was young, we were not married. She was ready to choose and go her way if she feels like I cannot provide that much. And that moment has marked me, because she said, I'll go with you no matter what, having anything or not. So that has really marked my life. And of course, since many time of trials and time we didn't know what to do, and we stayed together. After just our marriage, we went to the Bible school abroad to a different country. We lost everything. When I'm talking everything. Even our suitcase. We just had the clothes we had with us. And we went through that. We loved each other. We knew that all those things can just disappear. But as long as I have Astrid and she has me, we are sufficient. Of course, with Jesus. So those are moments, and we have gone through that in several times, and we have got wonderful time also. I remember we traveled abroad. We had to go to different places, go and visit, and just have good time, fun time. I remember I had an opportunity to have her celebrate her birthday one day in a plane. That was so wonderful for me to feel like I can afford something like that for my wife. So those are, I don't know, it's hard for me to mention all those moments, but at least we have events and we have time that has been really a blessing for us, and I'm just blessed to have her. And I always like also when she sings. She sings very well, so her voice makes me feel like, okay, I'm blessed to have such a wife.
And what are those things about your wife that you can always expect of her? You do mention a lot about you guys having fun and joking, and what are those things about her that you will always expect?
I will always expect that when I come with a joke, she will be surprised. Even if she knows that I can just tell her in a few minutes I'm going to do something, and she will still be caught up in different, like she was not ready for that. And also, I'm just very outgoing. I say things, I can take a decision very right away, easily. But she will always say, I don't know, but I always say I know that if I have to ask a question or an idea, she will say, I don't know, but. So that means it's going to take a little bit time for her to agree with. And I don't say that she will agree in everything, but I always know she will say, I don't know, but I expect always that she will start by a little bit being negative. And then she may change her mind.
So, if you could tell your wife something on this 24th anniversary, something for her to know about how you feel about her 24 years later, what would it be?
Oh, thank you for making my life very happy. I love you, Astrid, and I know that without you, I've been maybe doing a lot of mistakes. You're very smart. You do your best to make me a little bit cool down and understand that we have to be a little bit careful in many decisions because I'm a risk taker. So you have helped me in some of those moments. I love that, the fact that your insights, your wisdom, and your fact of being really always a little bit like a sponge to take it and swallow that and try to think about it and produce something better. As you cook, the same thing, you try to cook almost everything. So I love that. And I'm just blessed to have you.
And you just talked about food. Let me ask you, what is your wife's favorite food?
Hey, that's a really a big question because the fact that my wife is a good cook and is always not easy to know that this is the best for her because every time she will do her best to make it feel like this one is the best thing I like. And also the fact that by living with her and changes she went through, especially with her health, she has changed a lot of what she liked to eat and what she doesn't like to eat. So in a way, I know that she likes to eat meat. And unfortunately, I don't like to eat meat, and she has sacrificed a lot in that area. And she do her best to make sure that the family has a little bit, but because I don't like it, she has really sacrificed in that. And I know also that she liked most of the things that doesn't have a lot of sugar, not because of the health, but that makes her to be a little bit opposite of me because I like something that tastes sugar. So that's the difference with her. She's very moderate about sugar, about but I'm just like kind of chocolate eater, and of course peanut butter is my favorite, so I eat that every day. That's what I can say about her. Because of her health, she have changed a lot of way of things she likes, and also because of the way she think of the family, she has sacrificed a lot, even what she would prefer to eat.
What can you tell us about her favorite pastime? What are those things that she likes doing when she has time to relax and just do something that's not totally strenuous or really that asks a lot of work?
Yes, for those who don't know my wife, she's a musician. She writes songs, and she likes singing. That's one of the favorite things. Of course, she likes prayers. She prays most of the time. But apart from that, she also is the kind of person who likes to how can I put it, the new technology. I'm talking about computer things. She has helped a lot in establishing most of the things that we're doing in the ministry to make that known. Like these days, she's talking about tweeting every day, things like that. And she's that kind. So she's our webmaster. It's not because it's an obligation for her, because it helped for the ministry, but she likes things like that. She likes it.
Thank you so very much for your insights on marriage, and also for sharing with us what your marriage has been like. Well, happy anniversary, 24th anniversary. We hope that as the years go on, you continue to grow and can bring more insights on marriage to us. It's really, you have been a blessing to many who have listened and taken part in your life. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having us. We hope we will have more time to share things like this again.
Thank you.
Thank you.